Hello everyone, good evening. You're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubrali, bringing you today's latest top stories of Canada. A $25,000 reward for information leading to the safe return of missing Toronto teen has been announced as a representative for her family speaks out against the deeply disturbing vandalism and posters highlighting her disappearance. Esther, who goes by ST, was last seen on May 16 at 12:01 a.m. near Bathurst Street and Hotspur Road, about 2 kilometers south of Earl Bales Park, where the search began a day earlier. On Saturday, Toronto police released a new image of Esther and announced the launch of a website dedicated to locating her. The photo is from May 15, but police did not say where it was taken. The teen, who was previously diagnosed as being on a spectrum of autism, was last seen without shoes. Police say they are concerned for her safety. Last week, police upgraded the search for Esther to a Level 1 operation, the force's highest level, in an effort to locate her. Of the nearly 3,100 missing person reports last year in Toronto, only 5 were Level 1 searches. Police did not say why the search operation was upgraded. The reward, which was announced by her family in an email to Awaz News, is being offered by up anonymously. Esther is described as wide, 5 feet 2 inches tall, with medium build and brown hair, and was last seen wearing grape sweatpants and a turquoise sweater. In a statement, Esther's family said it was aware that some posters announcing her disappearance have been torn down, calling the vandalism deeply disturbing and cruel. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says no one is more ticked off about $200,000 in cost to taxpayers for a private jet purchase, but he is not committing to personally repaying it as the NDP has urged. The government bought a used 2016 Bombardier Challenger 650 jet for the Premier's use earlier this year, but after it came to light and sparked public outcry, Ford pledged to sell it. He said the province sold the jet to Bombardier for the same amount of money as the purchase price. Documents released recently by the Premier's office on the purchase and abrupt sale of a $28.9 million private jet show taxpayers are still on the hook for more than $190,000 in aviation-related costs. The NDP has urged Ford to personally foot the bill, but when asked about that at an unrelated press conference today, Ford would not commit to it. He said he prides himself on saving taxpayers' money, and the additional cost frustrates the heck out of him. Thousands of community and social workers across Ontario have walked off the job today, calling on the province to boost funding for their services. The Ontario Public Service Employees Union, which represents the workers, says chronic underfunding has forced them to work additional jobs to make ends meet while leaving vulnerable people struggling to access support. The union says the workers hitting the picket lines today are joining those from several other organizations who went on strike over the weekend, as well as others who have been locked out. In total, it says workers at nearly 2,000 community organizations are now on strike or locked out. Aside from additional funding, the union says its demands include retroactive pay related to Bill 124, which capped public sector wage increases at 1% and was later ruled unconstitutional. It says many public sector workers have received retroactive wage increases of 6.5% or more since the law was repealed, but those in community and social services are still waiting. OPSEU President J.P. Hornick says the workers are taking a stand for their communities and everyone, including their employers, should support them. The Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services did not immediately respond to a request for the comment. A motorcyclist being rushed to hospital Following a crash in Scarborough on Monday afternoon, the collision happened in the Malvern neighborhood near Markham Road and Nugget Avenue, just north of Shepherd Avenue East. Toronto police said they were called to that area just before 2 p.m. for reports of a multi-vehicle collision involving a motorcycle. A male motorcyclist was transported to the hospital via emergency run, they said. Nugget Avenue is currently closed between Markham Road and Doledale Court as police investigate. Peel police say they have arrested 17 suspects linked to a string of violent extortion incidents that predominantly targeted members of the South Asian business community in Brampton, Caledon, and Mississauga. A total of 106 criminal charges have been laid in connection with the joint investigation, which was launched in December 2025 and involved the FBI, CBSA, OPP, and Surrey Police Service. Victims in these incidents were threatened and their businesses, which included restaurants and trucking companies, were shot at and set on fire, Peel Regional Police Chief Nishan Durepa said at a news conference on Monday. The violence was not random, he noted. They were specifically targeted and escalated over time. Durepa said the 17 accused have been connected to 24 incidents. This investigation is far beyond Peel. It has ties to British Columbia as well as the United States and India, he said, adding that one suspect was linked to an attempted homicide in India. 6 of the 17 charged may face immigration action, Durepa said. Outside the 17, there are 6 additional suspects that have been detained by Canadian Border Services. Some of them have already been removed from the Canada and 2 are in custody with CBSA, he said. Drake once said he started from the bottom, but this week he's occupying the entire top floor of the Billboard charts. The Toronto rapper has rewritten music history by becoming the first artist to claim the top 3 spots on Billboard's Top 200 album chart, the company announced Sunday. His trilogy of albums, Iceman, Habibti, and Maid of Honor, debuted at numbers 1, 2, and 3 respectively on the chart dated May 30th. With Iceman, Drake also noticed his 15 number 1 album, moving past Jay-Z for the most number 1s among solo male and R&B hip-hop artists, and trying him with Taylor Swift for the most number 1s among solo artists. Only the Beatles sit ahead overall with a record 19 number 1 albums. Iceman enters the chart with 463,000 equivalent album units, followed by the Habibti with 114,000 and Maid of Honor with 110,000. A day after Drake's 3-album drop, both Spotify and Apple Music revealed the rapper became their most streamed artist in a single day of 2026. The releases marked Drake's first solo album since his high-profile feud with Kendrick Lamar, with lyrical references to the beef scattered across tracks. He launched the project on May 15 by lighting up Toronto's CN Tower in an icy blue glow, while also surprise releasing the companion albums the same night. Planes are occasionally diverted to other airports for emergencies, but a recent case is raising questions. A Detroit-bound Air France plane was diverted to Montreal last week after the U.S. refused entry to a passenger from the Democratic Republic of Congo, the epicenter of the deadly outbreak of a rare type of Ebola. The U.S. Border Agency said the passenger boarded in error due to new U.S. entry restrictions to prevent the potential spread of Ebola. The U.S. is only allowing travelers who were recently in Ebola-affected regions in Africa to land in Dulles International Airport in Virginia for enhanced health screenings. Currently, Canada doesn't have a travel ban, but passengers arriving at major ports of entry are now being asked about their travel history and potential symptoms, Dr. Josh Raymer, Canada's Chief Public Officer of Health, said Friday. When asked about the decision-making process behind flight diversions, Transport Canada said it is working on a response to Awaz News. Transport Canada did confirm that the Air France flight had to divert to an alternate airport where it could land safely and allow the inadmissible passenger to deplane, allowing the flight to continue on to its planned destination. The Public Health Agency of Canada told Awaz News that the agency's quarantine officer assessed the traveler and determined they were asymptomatic. Aviation expert John Craddock has concerns about this particular flight diversion. So, in normal circumstances, diversions are there to handle emergencies situations, he told, noting examples such as low fuel, turbulence, potential injuries, or someone needing immediate medical care. But rather than an emergency, he said, the Air France incident seemed to be an administrative error that allowed the passenger from the Democratic Republic of Congo to board the plane going to Detroit, which violated the U.S. rules, said Gradek, of faculty lecturer in supply networks at aviation management at McGill University in Montreal. He said Canada follows standards from the Montreal-based International Civil Aviation Organization. While ICAO standards are not regulatory requirements, Craddock said they do outline protocols for aircraft operators and member countries. This would include allowing an aircraft experiencing an emergency or deemed in jeopardy to land. Craddock said a request to divert to another airport may come from an air traffic controllers, the carrier itself, or the flight crew.
Thank you for watching Awaz News. This is Kubra Ali. I'll see you tomorrow again. Have a wonderful evening.